me just ask you a question.
Yes.
You're familiar with the drug bust that went down about 10 days ago. The organization we've been talking about all evening long, Rayful Edmonds' organization.
Yes.
The drugs came from Los Angeles, from the Crips gang. It's a black gang.
You know something? Let me tell you something. This is how it works. You go over there, you get your airplanes, you go over to these other countries, you bring drugs back, you put them into these black neighborhoods. You understand me? People don't, let me tell you something. You know some of your biggest drug dealers in America sitting right up in New York on Wall Street?
Right. Look at the night of the base of public enemies.
Don't try to put the blame on all black people. You know, that's the statistic, that's the lie. See,
look at the video.
Just statistics in America is lying on black folks all the time.
Thank you.
You know what? We don't go on airplanes, buses, trains, none of that stuff. You know what? The U.S. government plays a great big part, and it's called genocide in America, and that's what it's about.
Listen to public enemy.
Yes, ma'am. Now, hold on. If we could just hear from this lady.
I'm a psychiatrist.
Hold on just a second. If we could get the mic close enough to you. You got to understand, we've got a very large hall here, and it's difficult sometimes to get the microphone to folks. Yes, ma'am.
I am a psychiatrist, a general psychiatrist and child psychiatrist here in Washington. And I'm disturbed that the program has gone on for such a long time, talking at the level of the symptom and not talking about the disease itself. But I give you credit because you started out the program talking about the Kerner Commission report. And that was 20 years ago, and President Johnson's report on violence, no less, that the number one cause of violence was racism. And racism is the major problem in this area of the world. It's the major problem on the planet. And yet we have a perfect example in microcosm right here on this program, how we have high government officials who do know, are supposed to know about what's going on, but there was steadfast avoidance of this most critical issue. Racism is a behavior system that is organized because white people are a minority on the planet. They are a tiny minority of the world's people. The black, brown, red, and yellow people are the world majority.
That's right.
Not only that, white people are genetic recessive in terms of skin coloration. You see somebody like whose skin is white, if they have sexual relations with a black person, the product is colored. And there is the fear of white genetic annihilation. It existed in Europe, it existed in Germany, it exists here today. And this is why people, it's written about in the Washington Post.
This entire format of this program from its inception was racist.
Come on.
This program started off for 1 hour of national primetime TV, and I'm going to make my comment and ask a question to the Bush administration. National primetime TV from 10 to 11 o'clock at night, talking about and watching black people kill black people in Washington, D.C. That's the way it started. After the first hour, then we had 1/2 an hour of the Secretary and Mr. Bennett talking about their ideas and their program. And then for the next 1/2 an hour, you had various people that were going to present a very logical kind of statistical argument about this problem. And only after the audience got frustrated did the audience begin to say the real problem in this country is racism. So the format of this program has begun. Now, I want to make that point and raise this question to the Bush administration. Why, Mr. Koppel, if this community of the finest, most intelligent black African Americans in this nation in Washington, D.C., from our top leadership to these community organizers are here, this is Washington, D.C., if we're willing to stay here till 6 o'clock in the morning to deal with this problem, why did Mr. Bennett and Mr. Kemp and the rest of the Bush administration leave at 12 o'clock? Did they leave? I'm asking the Bush administration.
Well,
why
how
did they
about
leave
letting me answer the question, because I'm the one who invited them, and both of them made it very clear to me that this was a very difficult evening for them to come. Hold on.
We're dying in this community. That's how difficult it is for us.
I understand. I was the one who said, if you can even come for half an hour, I would appreciate it. Now, there are plenty of raps that you can make against the Bush administration if you want to. That's one you'll have to make on me. Now, the beginning of the program, you talked about it. I'm sorry, you must have been watching another program. I had a great deal to do with putting this program together, and I can tell you the first 5 minutes of the program dealt with young black people killing black people. And the rest of the program dealt with black people in the community coping and helping one another. And the third part of the program dealt with racism. Now, I don't know what you were watching, but you weren't watching the program I put together.
All right, hey, shalom, shalom. You know, I got this video from the elder Karat Nazar out of Baltimore. Hey, and look, you know, it is what it is. Look no further than Deuteronomy 28th chapter. Remember, we still under these curses. All right, now, that video was back in the 80s. I'm not sure if it was early or later 80s. You know, I was actually born, you know, in the early 80s, you know, early 1980, you know, to be exact or whatever. That's neither here nor there. So I do remember, you know, some of the 80s, some of the later 80s. But this is what Esau Edom does, man. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone on whom I learn from daily. Healthy shalom to the 144,000 mighty men. It is not going to be very long at all, but look no further than the curses of Deuteronomy 28th chapter, because look, those jakes that were speaking, you know, they were speaking the truth. Yeah, they were speaking the truth. But the scriptures also tell us that we've looked for a nation that cannot save us. Matter of fact, you know, they're sitting at the round table with, you know, these devils that, let's just go to it. Let's go to this scripture right here. Yeah, it's right here. I got it pulled up. Revelation 12 and verse 10, because what he said was, basically, you do understand these drugs came from L.A. They came from a black neighborhood. Well, you know, the male Jake, the so-called black man, right? He got up and he spoke the truth. And the truth is, look, we ain't got no damn boats. Listen, we don't have no boats. We don't have no airplanes. None of that shit. As a matter of fact, you know, it started out with, you know, with free basing, right? You had that with Richard Pryor and all that, where he trying to free base on the airplane, about to blow itself up, everybody else on the airplane, you know, all that kind of thing. And then it went into, you know, parlayed into the music and, you know, even, what's that, not group, not P. Diddy, them dudes from New Orleans, right? You know, talk about make smack like this. You know, they made a song teaching Jake how to damn cook the shit and make actual, you know, what they call, you know, I say smack, right? You know, step on a crack, break your mama's back. I'll say it like that. You read between the lines, Jake. All right, but you know, it got into the music and all this, and then, you know, the elder was going into the Scarface and you know, the movies and the Nino Brown and the Carter, right? You know, it was all a snare and a trap from Esau Edom. Revelation 12 and verse 10, it reads, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power, Yahweh, all right? And the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And that's exactly what, you know, that Edomite did that was sitting there up on the panel talking about, well, you know, the drugs came from L.A., you know, it was your own people killing your own people. The same old bullshit. You know, when the male Jake, you know, that so-called black man, when he got up there, he said, look, we don't own no airplanes. You give us the work, then you throw us in jail. You know, that's I think that's some kind of hip-hop lyric, a song that I heard sometime back, and it sort of stuck with me. Okay? But that's what they do when they accuse us day and night before Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Now, of course, these Jakes, you know, look, that's why I got Deuteronomy 28 chapter pulled up, because we trodden down, and we, you know, basically we through. You know, Esau, by the hand of Esau Edom, but who caused that to happen? Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because we went off. Let's go ahead and read it. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken. It's talking about the Israelites. They ain't talking about every damn nation. They're talking about everybody. Everybody, right? All right. Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations. And we're not on high, we are on low. This is what this whole thing is about. It's about the elect and those who were ordained since before the foundations of the earth. It's a test. You see? Okay? That's what it's all about. We are under these curses, man. All right? Verse 15. We'll go to verse 15, and we'll dig just a little bit deeper into it. Consequences of disobedience. Do you see that right there, Jake? Consequences of disobedience. There's so many scriptures. Scripture said, the hammer of the earth. You know, he set up the basis of man up over his silver and his gold, the Israelites. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled bird. Verse 15 reads, but it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And it's very clear to see that these curses have come upon us and they have overtaken us. Even the saints, the scripture said they wear out the saints. Let's go there. Impromptu, right? All right. Yeah, they shall wear out the saints, man. This is the book of Daniel, 7 and verse 25, and it shall, and he, Esau Edom, this damn devil, shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And to think to change the times and laws, that they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times, 350 years, if you will. Okay. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but after 3 days and a half, he woke us the hell up. But again, look no further than the curses. The scriptures very plainly told you that thou shalt be oppressed and spoiled. And it's going into the curses right here to see. Pestilence cleave to us. Is it 28? Slovakia. Again, just total impromptu. Yeah. Verse 28 reads, the Lord Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. That's your mind. So, you know, these jakes that were sitting there have looked for a nation that cannot save them. Let's go there first. All right. All right. That's in the scriptures. Here we go. Lamentations and woe, right? Lamentations 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. See, they were sitting up in there asking, hey, you know, when you gonna help us? And at the same time, what was he doing? Accusing the Jakes, well, your own people, that did to your own people. But hey, we ain't got no ships. Look, there was if I remember, it was a big ass cargo ship owned by like one of these damn banks, J.P. Morgan or somebody, you know, that got I guess it got seized or whatever. And they, you know, whoever stumbled upon it happened to find one of the biggest shipments of, I'll just say it like it is, drugs, you know, coming into the country. Destined for who? Jake's neighborhoods, man. Jake's, right? But see that? That's the thing that backfired on them, was that when, you know, they went to Afghanistan, I'm sort of all over the place, but, and, you know, and they raided all them poppy fields and all that whole opioids epidemic happened, and it backfired on Esau Edom because he thought he was going to put it on Jake, but the shit was too expensive, you know, so it happened to their people, and all of a sudden it's a crisis, right? I'm just saying. Let's read it. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, right? That could not save us. Now, this same nation does things like what? Create step on a crack, break your mama's back, all right, for lack of better terms, right? All right, let's go back. Matter of fact, I might want to show you this because, you know, it's came out, the son of perdition is being revealed each and every day, but, you know, it came out some years back, and brothers have done many lessons on this, but that, you know, that whole C-R-A-C-K was created in UCLA. I got a video on it. I might as well show you, right? All right, let me get this first. Let's move on down. Yeah, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee, right? It's got the same sentiment in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. All right? Shippies. As the elder was going into the older Bibles. Right? These are part of the curses. You got to read this. Read Deuteronomy 28th chapter all the way through. It says a lot. And it's not that long. See? Verse 45 reads, moreover, all these curses shall, it didn't say maybe, it said shall, it's going to happen. And it's still on us. Baruch 3 and verse 8, we yet to stay in our captivity. We're subject to payments. We look for a nation that cannot help us. They have healed Zion slightly, right? Peace, there is no peace. They blowing smoke up your ass, Jake. All right? And the truth was out there in the 80s. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he command thee. Right? In verse 1, what it say? Which I command thee this day. All right? Hey, yeah, let me go ahead and I'm going to show you this. Check it out.
The crack epidemic, when we discovered crack 13 years before the word was even introduced into the lexicon. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented, because we knew it was coming, and we wanted to make sure that we understood everything. We're working on the next ones already. Drugs that are out there now on the street that are not illegal, that people are looking at.
And again, you're at UCLA?
Yes.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
to let listeners know, yeah, where you're speaking from.
Yes, I've been here for a long, long time. And I came out here from New York because it was one of the few places I could do LSD research at the time, and we were giving LSD and all kinds of marijuana and all kinds of other drugs to volunteers in the laboratory. And I wanted to move away from animal research and move into people who could give informed consent and volitionally agree to all the conditions of the experiments. And it was also an exciting time because lots of new epidemics have started here in California. The psychedelic revolution started here. The methamphetamine epidemic in 69, 70 started here. The crack epidemic in the form of cocaine-free base smoking started here in 1971. It hit New York in 1985. So we were always on the cutting edge of things, and it was an exciting place to be, and it still is.
Well.
All right, you saw that and you heard that straight out of the horse's mouth. It was created in UCLA. For who? For you, Jakes. You see, and back then it was 3 strikes, you're out. It wasn't no damn epidemic. It wasn't no you go to a methadone clinic and they help you out with your so-called affliction or addiction. No, none of that shit. That's why we trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All things run through him. All things. Verse 48, Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shall thy serve thine enemies. They damn sure wasn't our friends, right? Still ain't. See? Which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck till he have destroyed thee. Right? And then he sits up here in his high seat, and notice what he did was he moved from that Jake real quick, because Jake was getting a bit animated, and Esau Edom, don't let them twist it up. They scared of you, Jake. They're scared of you. All right? But you can't use that for weakness or nothing like that, because Esau Edom, hey, he's wiser than Daniel, as the scripture said. He knows exactly what he's doing. All right? He knows what's going on. All right? So again, I wasn't going to make this too long, but it's all a part of the curses. And these Jakes, yet to this day, right? Almost 2026. It's still a couple hours to go. You know, according to the Gregorian calendar, Esau Edom's calendar, right? Which is off. But to this day, man, so-called 2026, Jake still don't understand what the hell is going on. They trying to climb up another way. It's sandy as hell, and their feet is slipping, man. All right? Hopefully this quick little lesson was edifying. It's all about the curses, man. You know, we almost up out of here. We got to, endure to the end, as the scripture said in the book of Matthew, 24th chapter. All praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Shalom.